Madame Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and PCC guests, when I arrived at Toastmasters in 2011, I thought I had the communication down flat. I mean, I had graduated as a licensed clinical social worker in 2008 and was already working as a full-time psychotherapist for the past years. Being a psychotherapist entails sitting in front of people and listening, right? They communicate their stories, breakdowns, breakthroughs. This clearly meant that I understood the art of communication. I thought I was a good listener, but it turned out I was wrong. What beautifully emerged from being a Toastmaster was my ability to listen fully to every speaker in a way that I had never listened before. I discovered the art of listening. This listening muscle evolved over time through the practice of meeting roles at the Toastmaster meeting. So it's not just about giving speeches. There are all these meeting roles that contribute to the art of listening and speaking, and I will add leadership. Today, I will share how the grammarian, Toastmaster, and evaluator positions foster the art of listening. The first one, grammarian. It is the responsibility of the grammarian to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. My first experience as a grammarian was dreadful. I was distracted by the way the person looked, what they were wearing, how they were saying things, emotions and thoughts that would come up for me randomly. However, over time, by participating as a grammarian, I was able to hone in on how words were being used and acknowledge people's use of language through their words, quotes, saying, or thoughts. In creating this new way of listening to words as they are stated, I can now listen more intentionally to everyone in my community and even my psychotherapy patients, as I now acknowledge them when I hear a beautiful phrase or a beautiful quote and encourage them to be fully self-expressed as well. I also find myself catching my own grammatical mistakes, or I applaud myself if I say something that is pretty darn, sassy or smart. So ultimately, I created a new appreciation of words through the role of grammarian. Then there's the Toastmaster, and our Toastmaster tonight is Christina. She's doing a phenomenal job. Serving as a Toastmaster is an excellent way to practice facilitation, organization, and time management, because you want the meeting to run smooth and to be the best meeting ever. So in this role, the art of listening shows up powerfully as the Toastmaster listens carefully to each participant and develops an ability to segue to the next person on the agenda. We learn how to connect paragraphs in school with transition sentences, but we are not shown how to transition speakers when hosting an event. This, my friends, is what creates a smooth event. It creates harmony. There's charisma, right, in the transitions as well. One of my most memorable experiences at Voces Latinas Toastmaster was interviewing Anthony Chavez, grandson of Cesar Chavez, after a private screening film of Caesar. Hosting this interview required careful listening and creativity to transition from one question to another. It's so easy to get lost in the conversation, but I was very focused so that I can transition from one question to another and keep the audience engaged and entertained, right? The third thing and final role is the speech evaluators. At the end of the speeches, the evaluators share the strengths that they heard and noticed in the speakers and what they felt could be improved on in the speech. Now, this is the final stroke to the art of listening. Imagine listening to someone you are evaluating and you are focused so intently on their strengths. And you are also able to formulate one or two areas where they can improve to make their public speaking sparkle. And you say it in such a way where the other person is inspired and moved by what you just shared, and they are already transformed in their speaking. This is how I now provide feedback to everyone in my environment, and that includes my psychotherapy patients, my relationship with my boyfriend, family, friends, um, one of my employees recently, I gave feedback on a report. Mark Neeple said that to listen is to lean in gently with the willingness to be changed by what we hear. Come to Voces Latinas Toastmasters to discover the art of listening. Madame Toastmaster?